Go for all their HVAC and plumbing needs since 1968. J&B Supply, with locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and Bentonville.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Make today more interesting with Betly's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betly, the only online sports book in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betly Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betly.com. With Betly, every game matters. Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
When was the last time you looked forward to seeing the dentist? Well, if it's been a while, or if you haven't had the best of experiences with dentistry, meet Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry. Give her a call at 494-7600. They'll take care of it all. Crowns, bonding, dentures, bleaching, and cosmetic dentistry. Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry at 807 South 21st. Call for an appointment today. 494-7600. That's 494-7600.
The cold and flu seasons are here, and Law's Drug Store has what you need to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all the over-the-counter cold and flu remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric has been the most trusted heating and air company in Arkansas for more than 50 years. As the winter weather changes from hot to cold, trust the pros at Pascal to ensure your system is performing at its best. Right now, get a heating tune-up for only $99 per system. Want full protection and member discounts? It's only $1 more per visit. Call today or visit GoPascal.com to schedule online anytime. Professional people, professional service. GoPascal.com.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! I heard a hole in the silence. I saw a crack in the plan, but I got lies and ways. You're not a private detective. Take off your telephone shoes. My phone's going out of phase. Whoa!
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, getting back here on halftime. This is usually when we'd be talking to Chuck Barrett. Though Chuck is at a shoot-around right now in Lexington, so we'll have Chuck on in the next hour. So he's over there at Rupp, setting up the equipment, watching the guy. You can't do radio segments at a shoot-around. That's one thing I found out. Heck, I think I was doing an interview with you, Matt, on a previous radio station at an SEC women's basketball tournament game. Was that in Little? It was either in Little Rock or it was in Nashville, one of those two cities. One of my first 2 years doing the the women's basketball games at Arkansas. And, like, go ahead and try to have a conversation with somebody when there's loud music playing or a coach, shouting directions and basketballs bouncing all over the place. But it just wasn't going to work. So we're going to get Chuck on in the next hour over the phone from lovely, lovely Lexington. Inside that building that I've only been inside Rupp once. And it was like the women's team, as I said yesterday, they don't play there. Kentucky's women's team plays at Old Memorial Coliseum, where I know the men's team played there until Rupp opened in the mid-1970s. And, man, that place looks like it was built in the 1930s. I mean Memorial, not Rupp. Rupp, I think, has been recently added onto or renovated or something. It's a pretty big building. But I remember walking in there because the women's team stayed at – there's a hotel that's – because, I mean, Rupp isn't just an arena. It's a conference center. It's a convention center, and there's a hotel attached to it. We stayed there one trip into Lexington, and you could just kind of walk right into the arena. It's almost like an entrance to a mall in a sense. They had, I think, a concert that was happening that night. And I remember walking in there thinking, my gosh, this is a college basketball arena? It's not owned by the university. Like most of the arenas for college basketball across the SEC and probably around the country. That is a building that was put together and built and now owned by the city of Lexington. So that's why it's a little bit different. Let's see. You been inside there?
So the first weird story. So freshman year football, and playing football a little bit. And didn't start a game at football, but played a little bit. So basketball, get over there. Nolan Richardson's last year, and we go to Rupp Arena, and I've been over there about 4 or 5 weeks and see how things are going. And I'm I love some basketball, love playing basketball, loved everything about it. And Coach Richardson, we come in, we go out for shoot around and do whatever, and we come back in for your final talk before you're going to go out, and I see the numbers on the board, and I see my number. I was number 2 at the time, and I see my numbers in the starting lineup, and I'm just like, oh, is this a misprint? It's the first game. I haven't started a game. I'm a freshman on football scholarship. And you know who the number I see across from my number was? Tayshaun Prince. It was like, oh, man, you set me up for failure, right? So I love, obviously I'm a competitor, and I'm trying, but, Tayshaun Prince, there's nothing. He's just a better basketball, So I get out there, I'm guarding Tayshaun Prince, and all he does is a little thing, just shoots his little side shot, and just like, oh, man. But that was my first start, was at Rupp Arena against Kentucky. It was awesome, man. Talk about atmosphere and just a great time, and it was fun, except for we didn't win the game,
What year would that have been, Matt?
I'd have been 02. It'd been 01. Okay. It'd have been 2001's when I graduated from high school. 01 would have been the Ole Miss game. So 02, been freshman year like 01, 02. I don't think it would be 02, 03. I don't know if everything.
I got you here. Lost 71-58 was the final score in that game. A part of a lengthy losing streak to Kentucky from 2001 through 2011. I didn't realize Arkansas went 10 years between wins over the Kentucky Wildcats. And of course, you just had a losing streak. There was 8 in a row until a win in 21, and then last year 22. Arkansas all time has had just one 3-game winning streak against the Wildcats, and that was 2013 and 2014. That would also include, I think that was also the famous Mike Qualls put-back dunk at the buzzer.
That would have been at Bud Walton, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would have been on that was a birthday of mine, January the 14th. I remember watching that game with the women's team in a hotel, and we saw that happen, and like, wow. And then they beat them later on that season. And then, don't beat them again for another 7 years. But a chance to make it 3 in a row over Kentucky tonight. I hadn't realized that Arkansas had only had one 3-game winning streak in school history against the Wildcats in a series that dates back to 1950. I mean, and even in the glory days, of Arkansas basketball, they still couldn't put together even a 2-game winning streak against Pitino's Wildcats. Gosh, those were some great battles. And I think, maybe get the same kind of game in this one today, although they're not both, top 5, top 10 teams. Looks like who do you need anybody? Do you need something extra from anybody today? You know what I mean? Something extra, something that you don't usually get from somebody. The thing that I pointed out in the last segment, it'd be nice if Jordan Walsh has one of those good offensive days that you see, maybe once a week, every couple of games.
Go 3 of 6 from the 3-point line, hit a couple free throws, get some offensive rebounds, get a couple slashing baskets, end up with 14 points and 9 boards. Yeah, I'm 100% with you.
That's what I'd like for a guy that comes off the bench. It's like you always have a scorer to come off the bench with some energy. You know what I mean? I mean, that was J.D. Note a couple of years ago. Always came off the – you remember watching JT. J.D.
Baller.
He was just going to Well, he was going to gun it when he got out there. You knew what you were getting, somebody that was looking for shots, no matter what angle they were or how deep they were. And quite often those things went in. That's what you've been kind of looking for, that I don't want to say energy guy, because no matter what happens offensively for Walsh, he's got tons of energy. I mean, he always plays with energy, so you will get that coming off the bench from him. But I think in this one today, what are we at? What is he averaging here? Jordan's averaging 7.3 points per game, and in SEC competition, it's pretty much the same, 7.2 points per game. Just an extra 3 points, 4 points from Jordan today, I think would help work some wonders.
And not only that, Phil, to what you're saying, I think Jordan Walsh needs to play close to 30 minutes. I think that'd be part of his numbers are skewed because he fouls out 19, or he's not getting that rhythm going. It's just if he can get going, and it definitely, how I feel about Jordan Walsh. I love that kid. I love his game, and I think when the game gets down the last 4 minutes, you want him on the floor. But you also he's growing up and learning. You want him on the floor 30 minutes. If you got our guards, Devo, Ricky Council and Anthony Black are going to get 38 plus minutes. That's just how it's going to go. If they're not fouling out, they're going to go. So you're looking for the minutes. You're looking for your Jordan Walsh. I also think we talked a little bit about it yesterday, Phil. I think Kamani Johnson needs to have a big game. Where's he been for? Step up, make some plays for us.
Well, a player like Kamani and a player like Joseph Pinion, they are utilized in specific situations for specific opponents.
Just matchups, yeah.
Yeah, I would be really surprised if you see Pinion today, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if Kamani is out there for 9 to 10 minutes, because it's like you get a rebound as a team against a guy like Sheba. Like this is the best rebounder in the nation, going on 2 years, and it's not just rebounding; it's offensive rebounding. I think that's where a lot of his points come from. Stickbacks, just overpowering an opponent 3 or 4 feet from the rim. It's not these long rebounds that sometimes you can't control. It's the rebounds that you're just getting out muscled for, underneath. And it's not like Shibwe is, a world-class leaper. I don't think he's jumping over everybody. He's not a 7'3" guy. He's a smart rebounder. He knows how to use his body, and he's incredibly strong. It's difficult for one player to out-rebound a guy like that. That's where Kamani comes in today.
I couldn't agree with you more. Rebounding, it doesn't start when the ball hits the rim. It starts when the shooter releases the ball. And so there's a time to get going and to when you're concentrating on rebound. And if you just sit there and watch the ball go hit the rim, you're reacting last. You have to see what's going on and be aware, see where he's shooting, see how he's falling this way, see where you think that ball's going to hit off the rim and where it's going to go from there. And that's right. I mean, rebounding is a lot about that and a lot of effort. You got to be smart, but if you can put yourself in the right spot, you're going to get the rebounds.
JT says it's a must-win game tonight. I wonder if that's like JT's hatred of Kentucky coming through, because I don't view this as a must-win. I view this as a nice win if you get it. When you play Kentucky at home at Bud Walton, that's the must-win. You got to win your home games right now. Mm-hmm. And it's not like winning on the road is gravy, and you're just happy if it might happen. This is not the must-win game on the schedule. I think winning your home games, like beating Mississippi State later on this week, I think that's a must-win. I think beating Florida at home, beating Georgia at home, and then Kentucky at home, I think those are the must-win games.
4 conference wins in a row. We get 8 games to finish the season. man, if you find a way to go 6-2, that would kind of be your little run. You're going to probably be, a 5 or a 6 seed in the SEC tournament. I don't know, 6-2 might get you to 4. You probably need a little help and get that double bye. But man, it's one of those deals, Phil. I don't see us going out there and getting beat by 17 tonight. I don't see us giving up 63 in the second half to them. I think we're going to be focused, not like how we did to Vanderbilt. I think we just kind of lost focus. I see this being a battle, a game kind of like a Baylor, kind of like a Texas A&M. It's going to be one of those where when they make a run, we can't go 6 minutes and not score. We can't have 5 turnovers in 7 possessions. We got to play smart, and it's going to be a real basketball game. I'm excited. You can hear it in my voice. I'm excited to watch this game tonight.
But a loss tonight doesn't knock you out of bracketology or anything, and it doesn't necessarily mean anything a month ahead. But it does give you an idea of maybe what the committee's looking at. You have a net ranking of number 29 right now. You're playing against the 31st net ranking in the country in Kentucky on the road. So a loss game isn't going to hurt your net ranking very much, if at all. A win is going to move it up at least a notch, maybe 2. But I think it's like more than just the idea of seeding or going to the tournament or anything. And I understand where JT is coming out here, because you want to see that they can beat a good team on the road, right? You want to see, like, South Carolina. You don't want to poo-poo South Carolina here, because they're the only team to win at Rupp. Like, that's a thing that I can't compute. That's the only team this year, heck, the only team in the last 2 years to win at Rupp Arena that doesn't wear big blue is South Carolina. They have that incredible road win, and then they almost shocked the Razorbacks. But just the fact, and I agree with Chris in Fayetteville who texted in, South Carolina showed the Hogs can win on the road and can win a close game. Tonight is going to be both of those, because I think this is going to be an incredibly tight ball game, and obviously it is on the road. But the other aspect, and I wonder about this about road games sometimes, the baseball tournament, the women's basketball tournament, and in the future, in the college football playoff in the first round, you're playing on an opponent's home field or home court. In the men's tournament, not a thing. Not a thing. Hogs have shown they can win neutral site games when they have plenty of their fans in attendance. I know they had a lot of their fans in attendance at Baylor, and there were certainly some in Columbia, but those were road games. They can win neutral site games. You don't have to worry about road games too much in March. I think it's about winning the close ones, showing that you can beat a good team, because let's be honest about this. If you're going to get back to where Arkansas was last year, Elite 8, you're going to have to beat a team that's as good or better, probably better than Kentucky.
Maybe even 2 of them. Maybe even 2 of them to get to the Elite 8. Yes, sir.
Stay with us. Halftime back after this.
While most of us are familiar with the opioid epidemic, we forget about the threat we faced for decades: methamphetamine. Meth is our biggest drug threat, and the number of people dying each year continues to grow. It's destroying our communities. You know, you've seen it. It might not have been your kid or your parent, but it was someone you know. To find ways to help, go to meovermeth.org. Choose your community. Choose your family. Choose yourself. I choose me over meth.
This message is sponsored by the North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education and the Me Over Meth grant.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Arkansas Razorback football team is coming off back-to-back winning seasons and a Liberty Bowl victory. As Coach Sam Pittman and the team look ahead towards the 2023 season, it's time for Razorback fans to do so as well. The deadline to renew your Razorback football season tickets and Razorback Foundation pledge is Wednesday, March 1st. You don't want to miss a second of the act.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com. The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do.
It's an ESPN question. I'm reading the oral history of ESPN titled "Those Guys Have All the Fun." It's a fun book. I mean, it's really just personalities that that we know from on camera, and the executives at ESPN and people that worked in the buildings there, just essentially telling their stories. It's not there's no narrative to the story. It's just people telling their stories. And man, it made me remember. I don't watch as much ESPN now as I used to. Heck, it's like sometimes you turn on any channel, you're going to end up with an ESPN anyway because there's like 20 of them. But I feel. Yes?
I was going to say, Phil, to your point, man, and not to interrupt you, but they changed the format to where it's like a guy talking with a guy or a girl, whatever, and it's like, let's see who can talk loudest.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kept, and it's like, oh, my goodness, y'all are hurting my ears.
I saw a clip of, I think it was Jay Williams and Stephen A. Smith yesterday. It was almost like they were ready to go to blows, like they were ready to fight. It was almost like they were challenging each other's intelligence.
Yeah, and Jay Williams is a point. I mean, Jay Williams could go. You're talking about that Jay Williams, right? The point guard
Jay
from
Williams.
Duke. Dude,
had
he's
the bad motorcycle accident.
Phenomenal. I mean, first round pick, then can never really play again.
Yeah, and he's good on the air, too. But, I mean, you know what you're getting into when you go into a Stephen A. Smith show. I mean, he wants to yell at you. He wants to yell at somebody, whether it's the viewer or the fans or whoever he's got there with us or with him. And that's kind of what happened there. You know, when we started halftime, we took Stephen A. off the air. This is the same time slot he used to be in. Now, he can be entertaining and everything, but it was almost like a takeover. And debate and yelling at each other are two totally different things.
Exactly. You're right. Yeah.
He's yelling. I mean, it's Skip and Shannon Sharp do the same thing. I mean, it's we all like that kind of conflict, I guess. But movies and being it in person, when on an over and over basis, is just a totally different thing. But I remembered, like, there are so many great shows when ESPN first came out. When I first learned about SportsCenter, and then they started Baseball Tonight, and the sports reporters on Sunday morning, where it's like, oh, my dad gets
Tim Kirchin in Baseball Tonight, though. I liked him. Yeah.
But also, it's like when my dad wanted to watch Face the Nation, and I get, they got sports reporters here. What else do you want to watch?
Up Close and Personal. They had a couple of those that were okay.
But my favorite wasn't just SportsCenter, it was specifically the feel-good edition of SportsCenter with Craig Kilborn and Carl Ravitch. Kilborn was a short-timer at ESPN. You remember he went on to
funny. He comedian. Yeah, he
did The Daily Show, and then The Late Late Show, which was really good at first, and then it kind of fizzled out. He didn't last too long there, and heck, I don't even know what he's been doing for a long time, except wasn't he in... He was in one of those Judd Apatow movies.
Was he? I thought I saw him on like a CNN or a Fox or something 7 years ago. Like it would have been a while ago, but I don't remember seeing him in a while. Yeah, Craig Kilborn. Yeah.
Well, that was my favorite one. I wonder who anybody else.
Dan Patrick.
What was the point? Well, the Big Show, right?
Yeah, right. Keith Olbermann and Dan Patrick, and then Stuart Scott, the late great Stuart Scott. Like I loved watching. Listening to him as well, how he went about it. And then Chris Berman had that drunk grandpa uncle thing going on, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, let me put my cigarette out. He had it going on too.
I think he still has that thing going on. I used to love their
wiping the sweat off his forehead after every segment.
Yes. I mean, primetime was appointment viewing. For those of us who watched the both NFL games that you could get your eyes on a Sunday, and then leading up to the Sunday night game, there wasn't quite anything as exciting as NFL primetime. That was
Keith Jackson, yeah,
and they're still doing it on ESPN Plus. I haven't watched it for a long time. My Sundays now are taken up with women's basketball and traveling back with the team. That's why I'm still figuring out whether or not, Matt, if I'm going to stop at your front door before halftime for the rest of the Super Bowl after the Mizzou women's game on Sunday.
We're going to get it. We're going to get it going on. Got a couple, buddy. I like it a small grouping to watch. I like to watch the Super Bowl, so there's just going to be a handful of us. So you're more than welcome to come on by.
So let me with your crew and the whole idea is to watch the game. Do we have to sit on our hands? Are we allowed to move around? Are we allowed to converse with people?
Please
or is it
do.
Just like
It's
talk and you're kicked out.
No. Everybody have a good time, but we're talking about the game. You know, we're not talking about what you did 3 days ago or whatever. We're kind of hanging and we're watching the game. We tell our stories, do what you do, but when the game's on, we're watching the game.
What are we watching at halftime? Because that's about when I'm going to arrive. Are we watching the Puppy Bowl? Is there still a lingerie bowl? Is that still a thing? Simpsons has done some pretty fun halftime shows. And who is it this year? Rihanna? Am I saying her name properly? Is it Rihanna or Rihanna? And I know the real fans know exactly how to say her name, because I'd be able to tell you whether or not it's Yankovic or Yankovic. And I would tisk you if you got it wrong.
Under my umbrella, Ella. Halftime would just be a little, walk outside and kind of get some fresh air and get ready for the second half.
Or maybe walk outside and look in the sky and see if there's another meteor that fires.
Oh, my goodness.
Did you hear about that?
I saw that this morning going through. What in the world? I mean, I didn't see it live, but what in the world? Do we know where it landed?
I have no idea where it landed. Chances are, Matt, it did not land in Arkansas. But I don't know. If it did, I think we would have heard about that.
One of those Earth shows, I say Earth shows, one of those shows where they tell you kind of what's going on, and it was these – man, I know you would know the two. It's their brothers, and they do this show, and it happened 10, 15 years ago. And they were talking about sciences and mysteries and things that maybe we don't understand. And they were like, you know how many meteors or debris hits this Earth every year? And we're like, you kind of looking at it, and they're like, a lot does. A lot of it hits in the ocean, though, so you don't see it. You don't feel it. It's not as much on land.
I feel like there was a time where when humanity saw one of those, everybody thought the gods are angry at us. And then a Coca-Cola bottle dropped from the sky, and all sorts of shenanigans started in front of them.
Mean Joe Green jerseys stopped out, yeah.
No, but I saw Hutch tweet about it yesterday, and I wasn't outdoors when this occurred. I think this happened around 7 o'clock in the evening, and I had a friend of mine in Central Arkansas text asking if I'd seen that, and I did not. And she said it was incredibly bright, really bright, which... you could, like, I've seen a shooting star, which is a meteorite.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that, but not like what looks like an explosion.
Seen a
in the
spy
sky.
balloon from China. Seen that. Yeah.
Well, that I didn't see. That I only saw in video.
It's probably propaganda anyways. It's like, what balloon did y'all really? You could just see him like a state over throwing that balloon up in the trade winds. Like, all right, let's get this for camera. Yeah.
So somebody posit the idea that it would have been a lot of fun if we could have sucked all the helium out of that balloon and done an Alvin and the Chipmunks movie. Wouldn't that just been a ton of fun? Oh, certainly would have been a ton of fun. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on halftime. Andy in Mountain Home confirming Craig Kilborn was a scumbag in Old School. I think that's like the only movie I've seen.
Oh, the
him
Bro Code.
acting in.
Yeah,
That's
the Bro
right.
Code, man. Yeah.
He wasn't the I kept thinking he was the character that got the Visine water, but that was Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, that's a Wedding Crasher. Yeah. Different movie. Yeah.
Same theme, different movie. Meanwhile, halftime's back. We're up at hour number 1 after this.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our number 1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the number 1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers has the best burger in town. And every Saturday, enjoy any burger at Art's and get $1 off. Try Art's Bacon Cheeseburger, topped with house-smoked bacon, or the Art Attack with bacon, ham, and a fried egg. And all of Art's burgers come with a mound of fresh-cut fries, or upgrade to Art's homemade onion rings. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue, next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch, Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Phil Hicks in Greenwood or Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-DOOR or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling, next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device. Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I was reminded every measure, riding trade winds, buried treasure. I got on fine with modern living, but must I be such a citizen?
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
They won 3. All right, good to be back with you here on Halftime. We've got a phone call. Let's take our phone call. We got Sean and Alma. It's 10 days out from baseball, Sean. That's what you're calling for. What's up? How are you?
Doing great. Enjoy the show.
Appreciate
Just calling to see who you think's going to start in Texas. My oldest son is married to Will McIntyre's sister. We just had our first grandbaby, so he's a new uncle.
Congratulations!
Hey man, I've seen the photos too. I've known Will's dad, Madison, for a long time. So you obviously know him well.
Family.
Yeah, Madison worked for me at the Travelers as an official scorer and a data caster. I mean, you know Madison. He knows more baseball than probably about 99% of the people in the state.
Oh, he does. He's who I call or text when I need to find out. But we're just hoping Will gets to start on that first series.
I think Will start in that first series. I do. But Dave has actually said to me that he's told reporters this and spoken about it. He wants McIntyre to be in the starting rotation. And I think one of the main reasons why, if not the main reason why, is that he throws strikes and isn't afraid to compete. He trusts his stuff. And his stuff might be, not 99 miles an hour like Jackson Wiggins, and, he might not have the same arm as Hagen Smith. He might not have the same professional future as all the other pitchers on this team. But what he has is pitchability, and he's got the lower abdominal region, if you know what I'm talking about. He's not afraid when he's on the pitcher's mound.
No, he's ready to go. We're just excited and ready to cheer all the Hogs on.
Well, I am too. And I think it's a really difficult choice for Matt Hobbs and for Dave Van Horn to figure out, who of these guys that all have incredible stuff, who are we going to throw on the weekend? And right now it sounds like Hagen Smith and Hunter Holland, Jackson Wiggins, and Will McIntyre are the 4 pitchers that they're kicking the tires on for the weekend. Problem is, you know how many games there are on the weekends? There's only 3 of them. So
3 of them. So,
so I don't know who will start the first game, but I think I'd be surprised if McIntyre is not a starter for one of those 3 games. And when you think about the way he trusts his stuff, Sean, and the kind of pitcher he is and how he competes, I wouldn't be surprised to see him as the Sunday starter. Because those Sundays are the days that basically make you feel the rest of the week about that weekend. When you had a chance
they
to
can
sweep.
be the rubber match, huh?
That's exactly right. But even that, it's your chance to sweep an opponent, or we need a win, otherwise we get swept.
Yeah.
It's such an important day in college baseball. We focus so much on Fridays. Man, I'll tell you what, you make your bones on Sundays in college baseball. Sean, we got to run. I appreciate the phone call, and say hi to the family. That's great. Yeah, Madison's awesome. He's also a baseball author. He's a trivia baseball genius. And he basically was teaching Will everything you knew about baseball while Will was still in the womb. One of many fathers that I think across the state did just that. We're going to get into the second hour of halftime right after this.
At Crane Used Cars on 71 South, it's a new year, and Joe Pulliam, dealer-operator, has bigger and better deals for 2023. Like up to $2,023 more for your trade. That's right, up to $2,023 over Black Book, with a great selection of certified pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by the Crane Commitment. 100-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Joe knows customer service with a 5-star rated service before and after the sale. So come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter, 8200 Highway 71 South, Fort Smith.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor. Save big when you shop at Metters Lumber True Value and get great deals during our home improvement sale. Pick up a 3-piece brush set by Master Painter for only $13.99. That's $5 off the original price. Upgrade your home's lighting with a 2-pack of GE's Direct Connect smart bulbs for only $23.99. Get $17 off Master Mechanic 20-volt cordless drill kit. Head over to Metters Lumber True Value and take advantage of these prices while supplies last.
Shot to the heart, and you're too late, darling. You give love a bad name.
Did Cupid shoot you with a crossbow of drama instead of an arrow of true love? Don't let that little cherub ruin the rest of your life. Call Mock Legal Solutions today to stop the bleeding. Schedule a free consultation and ask about our special pricing for new divorce filings in February. 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we're looking at a chance of some scattered rain. Our high temperatures will be cooler, right around 50 north, low 60 south. Chance of seeing some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder or two tonight. Overnight low will be in the mid-40s north, low 50s south, and then showers with a few thunderstorms Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
When it comes to your auto repairs, call W&W Automotive at 242-1600.
I hate everything you just said. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
They're hilarious.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Yes, sir. Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones. Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! On three! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, your
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
All right, a little bit different of a second hour for us on a Tuesday. Chuck Barrett coming up in about 15 minutes from Lexington live. I wonder if Chuck's got to get in a nap today, man. I would. 8 o'clock.
Perfect nap weather.
Well,
here anyways. I don't know what the weather's like there.
Perfect nap weather.
Man.
Yeah.
Get a little sprinkle going on outside.
It's raining. You're right. It is good nap weather. But you might need one tonight. For you and me, Matt, I mean, like, I have no trouble making it to 8 o'clock. It's making it to 9:30. It's really making it to 10:15 when this game is probably going to be decided in the last minute. Like, that's where it's going to be a little difficult to make it to. Because I know unless I'm on the air, unless I'm doing a game, I'm going to start losing that energy about 9:30.
That 8 o'clock game, I usually watch that first half, shower and brush your teeth at halftime, and then you just kind of let the second half put you to sleep. Yeah, let it take you. Like, by the time the game's over, about 12 minutes, I won't make the post game. I will be out.
Yeah. It's usually with that. I'm exactly the same thing. I'll watch. Now, I don't want to do this tonight because I want to watch it actually standing up to force myself to be awake for this. I'll usually watch like the last 10 minutes in bed, hand in remote, waiting for the moment where I realize it's time to turn this sucker off and go to sleep. I don't think that's happening today. I think this is going to be a tight one.
I do too. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be hotly contested. I think you got two teams that really, I mean, they feel like they're in a good position to get to the tournament, but not at the line that they'd want to be at. Certainly they're not in the standings in the SEC where they feel they belong. First of two meetings against these two programs, and I think they're just going to come at 100%. You know who else comes at 100%? Charlie does. The Tuna. He's given us a call. You can do the same in this segment at 877-377-6963. Hi, Charlie. You going to have any trouble making it to 10:15 tonight, or are you just going to start pacing? You're probably pacing right now while you're doing this phone call.
Actually, Phil, I'm actually fairly calm during the games. It's the lead up for me, man. It's before, like an hour or two before. Man, I don't know when you played. Like, were you more nervous before the game? You got out there?
Yeah, no, I like the afternoon games. I didn't like to sit around and wait till 8 o'clock to play.
Just a lot of thinking.
Yeah, let's go play. Yeah, I didn't like to necessarily play at 11 or noon, but you know that 3 o'clock afternoon, four.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I feel like that's perfect, right around the right time where I feel good too. You know, that's kind of how I am. I'm just, you know, I'm nervous now more than I probably will be during the game. I think during the game I kind of settle in.
Mm-hmm.
I did that when I was playing too. Like, I mean, I was kind of like the guy that would go and almost puke before the game, but then once we started running up and down the court, you know, I feel all right.
What was that? Dick Vermeil and Mark Wahlberg in that movie with the Invincible movie where he's getting ready for his first game and they're both coming out just wiping their chin like
Charlie, do you start to get a little bit nervous before we put you on? Do you puke before you start talking on our show?
Actually, no, Phil. No, Phil, not at all. Actually, now I'm like, because y'all feel like it's like more like a family vibe now.
There we go.
I say when I first started doing this, when I first started calling in, yeah. Probably.
Good, because this is not the football field. This is not the sidelines. We have a no puke policy on this show, so I'm glad to know that.
I can't let it loose on here. All right. I'll try not to. Well, I'm excited about tonight, guys. I think you're right. It's the edge of the sheet. Edge of you're gonna be right here. It's gonna be right down to the wire. I agree, and I think at the end of the day for Arkansas, the best thing that they can do is just make this game go as close to 40 minutes as possible, and find a way to make a shot down the end and hopefully get a stop or two. That's the key. And, for me, guys, though, also LeBron is 33 points away, and they started 9. So I'm going to be kind of back and forth a little bit. That will keep me up a little bit longer, too, because I want to see if he can pass that record tonight. So that'll keep me up a little bit. Phil, I need you to do me a favor, though. Baseball-wise, I want you to sell me on something. Because for me, I am a baseball fan, but not to the extent you are. And, I know that's your favorite sport. When I looked at last year's team, I was thinking about this, and I thought they got off to a great start last year. And then they kind of hit that lull towards the end of the year, and everybody was like, oh, man, here we go. Going into the tournament, they won't make it past. They wound up going to Oklahoma State, right, for the regional?
That's right.
So everybody was like, they won't make it past there. And I was thinking, like, this year, I think, what are some things you're looking at early? Because I know you always talk about this like I do. It's like DVH understands we got to be kind of playing our best ball down the stretch. But what, other than the pitching, what are some things you're looking for early that, sell me on this team early in the season? Because I'm more interested in once we get into conference play and towards the end. That's just me and how I roll a little bit, but I'm not as much of a baseball fanatic as you. Sell me early on this team. What gets you excited other than the pitching and all of that? And last year it's like Michael Turner. Like I remember listening to that thing on the when they delayed the game. Like he was like, man, we needed a mind reset. And when they got into the tournament, they got hot. So one game away from making the big one. So anyway, see what happens this year. It's going to be a great year, and I'm excited for the whole year itself, but sell me early. I want you to sell me early. I know you're good at this, Phil.
Man,
anyways,
it's a little difficult to I've always thought, it's like with a basketball team, a coach will tell you, I want us to be playing our best in February to be able to keep that ball rolling downhill, And I learned from last year with the baseball team, it might not necessarily matter how you're playing going into the NCAA tournament because things can change. And it's a little bit weird, like the basketball tournament, I think, is taken in a much different vein than the SEC baseball tournament is. The SEC, the conference baseball tournament is just sort of not important to a lot of people. And sometimes to the team too. That looked like the case last year. They just kind of looked like they wanted They weren't too interested in that tournament, and then the switch flipped. What I learned from that is that there is no other league, there is no other team that you can play outside of the SEC that has the same kind of depth. When you're going into the end, once you get to Omaha, it's a different thing. Those are all really good teams. You don't get to Omaha without getting hot for a couple of weeks. But if you're an SEC team that's sort of middling, look at Ole Miss. They were middling for a while until they got healthy and had a run. You can make a run as long as you get into the tournament. It doesn't matter where you play. It doesn't matter who you play. Because you have, and I hate the term because it is so overused and it is such a cliche, but there is some truth in cliches. If iron sharpens iron, the SEC is the sharpest block, like knife block in all of college baseball, and it isn't even close. So, all right, we know about the pitching. Like, that's going to get you fired up. I don't know, like, things to get you excited about. I loved the idea of watching Peyton Stovall play second base and seeing him grow into the hitter that he is. that is difficult to be as a freshman. I mean, he was going to be a first-round draft choice and turned down, if I remember the dollar figure, $2 million turned down as not a potential. He was going to be a first-round draft choice. First-round draft choices don't go out of high school to the major leagues, and very few of them start crushing once they get into the minor leagues. And when they're playing in the minors, they're not playing at the same level that the SEC is. I think Peyton Stovall can be an MVP type of a player for this Arkansas team. I'm talking an SEC Player of the Year kind of person. So that's one thing to really be excited about. You know, Jared Wegner, the left fielder, the guy hit at Creighton, and that's with barely anybody watching, not just at Creighton, but over the rest of the Big East. He's going to be, I'm interested to see how it's not handles the pressure, but handles the crowds that he's never played in front of before. Starting with, by the way, 25,000 people at the Rangers Stadium.
Baseball, more than anything, I think has a little bit to do with momentum and your pitchers. Unlike basketball, and this is just my opinion, Phil, unlike basketball, your best player gets to play every game and gets to play most of the minutes most of the time if he's not hurt. Baseball, your best pitcher only gets to throw one game a series, and then your hitters go in the lineup. It's just a different animal.
It is. And the SEC is a totally different animal, too. So I anticipate for the first 3-4 weeks before you get into SEC play, there'll be a lot of lineup tinkering, figuring out how to slot guys in. One thing I know, you're not going to have two lefties hitting in a row or two righties hitting in a row. They're going to be able to slot them in lefty-righty, and be really tough to match up with in late innings. And I think, I don't know if the starting rotation will change very much, because if the guys pitch well the first weekend, then they're probably going to stay in that rotation until they prove that they don't belong there. It's really how the bullpen shakes out, where the roles fit into, because you have enough lefties and righties that there could be numerous roles for these pitchers. And I'm not just talking about closer, because so often bringing a pitcher in from the pen in the fifth inning where the game can really swing, that's more important than the ninth inning. So just seeing how they figure out how to utilize this incredibly talented pitching staff. Like they'll always say, Matt, like if you have two really awesome quarterbacks on a team, well, it's a great problem to have, right? Well, theoretically, it's a great problem to have, but what if you make the wrong choice?
Right. You got to be Jim Harbaugh or Andy Reid, like when Andy Reid got rid of Alex Smith for Patrick Mahomes. But it's the guy that gets their first opportunity gets to go out there and has the chance. I mean, you get the chance to stay out there. And one thing I've learned, and when the farther you go in sports, the guy sitting on the bench right next to you is just as capable. He's just waiting for his opportunity. And that's it. When you get your opportunity, you got to seize the moment.
There are other years where you kind of knew what the starting rotation should look like before the season even starts, and you have a sense of the roles in the pen. This is not that season. So the first month, and they got some really good teams they're playing against. The first month is just incredibly important. I hope I answered your question, Charlie, because I think there were 2 or 3 of them in there. All right, we're going to talk with the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, after the break. Heavy into Arkansas and Kentucky. First of 2 meetings later tonight on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com, so stay with us.
You could win the ultimate Valentine's Day getaway. Head to hitthatline.com and register to win a getaway to the Arlington Hotel in historic downtown Hot Springs. The ultimate Valentine's Day getaway is brought to you by Swift's Jewelry in Fayetteville, Cupid's Lingerie of Northwest Arkansas, and Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. No purchase necessary. You can register once per day. Winner will be announced February 13th. Win the ultimate Valentine's Day getaway at the Arlington Hotel in historic downtown Hot Springs. Thanks to hitthatline.com and ESPN Arkansas.
A new year means it's time for new work boots, work shoes, safety shoes, casual shoes, fishing shoes, hiking boots, and cowboy boots. Gelco Outdoors has the largest selection and the best brands, ready to make your feet feel happy in the new year. Crappie fishermen, Gelco is stocking up for the spring season. Come check out the gear. 50% off clothing on the clearance rack, loaded with New Year savings. Gelco Outdoors, your store for work and the great outdoors. 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3. Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. Wow World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Make today more interesting with Betly's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betly, the only online sports book in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betly Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betly.com. With Betly, every game matters. Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hi everyone, this is Lisa with Davis Floor Covering. Are you ready to update your home or office and get it looking its best? Whether it's new carpet, hardwood flooring, tile, stone, or luxury vinyl plank, Davis Floor Covering can help you with all your flooring needs. With the best brands such as Bella Sarah Hardwood and JP Mathis Vinyl Plank Flooring. And we even do countertops, so come on in and let's get started. Davis Floor Covering, 3 locations to serve you: Fort Smith, Springdale, and Tahlequah. Or call us 479-452-4808.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Back on Halftime here and joined live from lovely Lexington, Kentucky. Site of tonight's Arkansas-Kentucky basketball game is the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett. Chuck, it's good to have you on today. What's going on in Lexington this afternoon?
Well, everybody's just kind of waiting on the ball game, I guess. The Razorbacks they've been over to the arena today, and they've had their game day practice, and so everybody should be ready to go.
Chuck, before we get into the Arkansas stuff, I know you're a sports fan. I just want to ask you about LeBron James and his just remarkable career and the fact that I never thought we'd see it in my lifetime, but breaking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time scoring record. Do you got a favorite LeBron James moment or just the longevity that he's been able to play with?
Well, I appreciate the fact that he's still doing it at the level he's doing it at the age that he is. I think that's the thing that's most remarkable about LeBron. I mean, he's everywhere he's been. I mean, for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Since
he was 17,
yeah. I mean, I can remember, seeing him when he was in high school. And, you knew that he was going to be pretty special. But he's, the NBA's changed. Players go to super teams now. And, Kareem had some pretty good guys around him too. It wasn't really the super team era, but I'm old school, and I loved Kareem and the way he played and the way he dominated the game. But there's very few people I think we'll ever see in sports. I mean, we've talked about Brady a lot lately, but there's very few people in sports that do it at the highest level for as long as LeBron has and Brady has. And, Matt, you know this better than anyone. If you have a 10-year career in the NFL, I mean, you're in the top 2 or 3%.
Absolutely.
If you play 10 years in the NBA, you're in the top 2 or 3%. To think that they've done it, or that, certainly LeBron has done it as long as he has, is pretty remarkable.
You bring up Kareem. I think of some of the players that have set some of the records that are still, viewed with awe, like, the goal-scoring record in the NHL. Wayne Gretzky was not the same player at all that last year, when he scored his final goal. Same with Kareem. Brady this last year, I mean, he had some moments, but you could tell, he was not the same player that he was even the year before. That's the thing about LeBron that's so amazing. You're right about that. I mean, watching the way he plays now and the numbers he puts up at this age, and he's a little bit younger than Kareem because he got his career started in the NBA without going into college.
Yeah, and Kareem had to go to college for a handful of years too, right?
For 4 years, that's right. But it's the ability to maintain your body for that long and stay at that level of performance that's just otherworldly.
Well, here's the thing, though, that I will say. I mean, first off, Kareem was not a three-point shooter. He was a true setter in the era of basketball when true setters were what won championships. And, Kareem was basically his repertoire included a lot more than people realized, but he was obviously known for the sky hook. Kareem could dominate in a game in a way that LeBron does not. Because partly because there are other great, there are more great players on the floor now. But, if you're old enough to remember, I mean, you can remember first the Bucks and then the Lakers. He had a supporting cast during Showtime, but when they needed a bucket, when they had to have a basket, that thing went down on the low block to Kareem. And, he was a guy that could just dominate the game. And I've never seen many that can dominate it the way he does.
Yeah, you bring up getting a basket, needing a basket. That South Carolina game at the end, Black kind of took over. We talk about he's a facilitator and not this true scoring guy, but it's not that he can't do it. It's just that he's a point guard and making everybody get involved. But late in the game, that South Carolina game, we needed a bucket. He got the bucket. We needed a rebound. He got the rebound. I love just watching Anthony Black and just watching him get better each week. Each game. What are your thoughts on Anthony Black going into tonight?
You go back to the very end of that South Carolina ball game when they missed that shot inside and he got the rebound with less than 3 seconds left. There are a lot of white jerseys around right there. And, that was a huge rebound. And that's a guy, like you say, that, some players just do it. They take over. You did it, man. You did it in football. And some players just, when the game's on the line, that's their time. And Black's one of those guys.
Well, they'll need him to rebound today. They're going to need this whole team to rebound.
Yeah, everybody.
Everybody. That's right. That's what I was getting at in the first segment on the show, Chuck, is, Sheboy and this Kentucky team, and really Sheboy overall, it's not a thing where it's like, all right, one guy's got to block him out. This is a team effort. And you might have to get a couple of bodies on him because I think that's where he gets a lot of his offense from is not necessarily tip backs, but pulling down his own teammates' misses.
Yeah, he's a wide body. You got to, you may have 15 or 20 fouls you spend on him tonight. You got to make him work for everything that he gets. And that's going to be a really, really big key in this game. Now, when they lost to Carolina, they didn't have Toppin, and I think Toppin's kind of the wild card. He's 6'9", and he's a really good, athletic 6'9", and they're going to have to keep him off the glass too. And you kind of pick your poison. There are going to be times, I'm sure, when they double down on Sheboy, and there will be times when they're not going to let him kick out for a three because they got some pretty good 3-point shooters. But Kentucky is one of those. They're an inside-out team, and not everybody's like that right now. But Sheboy allows them to do that. what do you have, 18 rebounds last time we played him, I think. So, you better keep him off the boards.
Yeah.
And by off the boards, I mean limit him to 10 or 12 total rebounds, and don't let him get 6 or 8 offensive rebounds. You're not going to hold him to like 6 boards. That is not going to happen. He's going to get his double-double, but you can't let him get offensive rebounds.
Think about that, Matt. It's like limit him to double-digit rebounds. Limit him to 5 offensive. That's how good he is at this. You're right.
Yeah, it's like let's hold Fred Talley to under 150 yards rushing. I get it. And Chuck, Phil, and I were talking about who's a player that needs to step up. Anthony Black, Ricky Council, Devo. I see that all of them getting 38-plus minutes. The guy that I think that needs to get more than 30 minutes and needs to be healthy and be out of foul trouble is Jordan Walsh. This is this could be a coming out game for him. To have a nice little 12-10 game, but not necessarily that as much as that he needs to be on the floor for more than 25 minutes and stay out of foul trouble for us to have a chance.
Yeah, you can't get in foul trouble tonight. I mean, they've gone 7 deep the last 2 games. Now, I figure Kamani Johnson will play a little more tonight. But I don't know how it'll be beyond that. But, I mean, you've got to, when you're playing, 7 guys, 8 guys, I mean, everybody's got to play well. Everybody's got to play well because, that's what's required at a place like this. But, Arkansas's won here before. Arkansas's won here before with lesser teams. So, this is one of those places where, just like Bud Walton Arena, other teams get excited about playing there too. And so, I think I think there will be a lot of intensity on the floor tonight. I'll put it that way. I think Arkansas is ready to play.
Chuck, I've never been to a basketball game at Rupp. The women's team plays at Memorial Coliseum, right there on campus, and they get a good atmosphere in there. What is it like? I only go on what I see on television, and when you're in person in the building, things are sometimes different than what you're seeing on television. What's the atmosphere like at Rupp when things are going good for Kentucky?
Well, they are basketball blue bloods, and they like to be entertained, and they think they know more about it than everybody else. So they'll, they get on their own team.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get on their own team too. But they'll be there. It's a 9:00 Eastern game, so late game here, but that happens with them quite a bit, them in Tennessee. So I think it'll be a full house tonight. When they're good, to answer your question, when it's like, I can remember when it was vintage Kentucky. I remember one night we were there on a Saturday night, and they had Willie Cauley-Stein and a bunch of other dudes, and they had Bruno Mars blaring on the DJ was, and 20,000 people were up dancing, and I can remember looking at Scotty Thurman and saying something to the effect of, "We're fixing to have a long night." And, that's just kind of how it is when they're good. But I don't think this is a vintage Kentucky team. They're playing well right now. And, Cal's, everybody loves to hate him, but he's a pretty underrated coach, even with all the attention he gets. Cal can coach. And, they've won 6 in a row, and it'll be tough tonight. But I'll say this. The way Arkansas is playing defense right now, if they can get that final act of defense, Musk calls it compares it to a save in baseball. Mike Anderson used to talk about the finishing part of defense is getting the rebound. And so if they can continue to play defense the way they played the last 2 or 3 weeks and keep Kentucky from killing them on the offensive glass, they've got a shot.
Chuck, I love the way this team, they don't flinch. They don't back down from anybody. And I was telling Phil that it's kind of echoing what you're saying, that it wouldn't matter if there were 0 fans in the stadium tonight. This team's going to be ready to go out there and battle. They know how big this game is at Kentucky.
They do. But I think the fact that there's going to be 20,000 in there is going to make it even better.
Absolutely.
I think our guys have gotten past this, wide-eyed stuff on the road. I do think it was an issue a month ago. I don't really think it's an issue now. And I think, players want to play in big games. The spotlight's on Rupp. They've watched games on TV. You talked about it a minute ago, Phil. We've all watched games on TV our whole lives. from Rupp Arena. And so, I can tell you there was a bounce in their step today. So, I mean, if you're a player, really a player, this is the stage you want to be on. You don't want to be on stage B. You want to be on the big stage.
Hey, last thing before we take the commercial, we've got a text in here from Mark who says he's watched 8 or 9 Kentucky games this year, and he's going about Oscar Tshiebwe in the lane. He's counted 5 to 8 seconds. I'm going to be waiting to hear Zim whispering 1, 2, 3 over your call when Kentucky's got the ball at times. Like how that's called early in the game might give us an idea of how it's going to go.
Well, he does seem to pitch a 10 in there. He's just kind of always been that way. And now I will say this: he's pretty adept at getting one foot just out of the lane to where that count restarts. Where for every 6 seconds, he may be in the lane for 4.888 seconds of that, but he manages to get a toe out at some point. They start the count over. Sometimes he doesn't, and they just don't look. But he's that kind of guy. He's an old school, old kind of low block player. Corliss was this way. He wasn't as tall, but Corliss was this type player. And it's going to be interesting to see as his career goes on. What kind of player he is in the NBA. I don't know that he would have. I don't know that he would have stuck. Had he gone out early, I don't know. But I'm sure he's got a very good deal to play basketball at Kentucky right now with the NIL. But in college, he's a dominant player. He's a dominant player. He's like Corliss would have been if he was 2.5 inches taller.
That's a frightening thought. We got Chuck for another segment, so if you got any questions, we can take them over the text line at 877-377-6963. Chuck and Zim are on the air at 7:30 tonight for an 8:02 tip right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. You want to watch the game? Get over to Joe's Grill and Cantina. They've got 2 great specials today. Right now, since it's Tuesday, it's Taco Tuesday. Crispy beef or chicken tacos are $1 all day long. Pork carnita tacos are $2.95. Brisket or pork belly tacos $3.95. Now, during the game, it's half-price apps and taps. So, you got 2 huge reasons to get to Joe's Grill and Cantina at 3400 South 74th and Fort Smith, right across from Harps. Today, they're open Tuesday through Saturday. Go to joesportsmith.com to get a look at the specials. Also, download the Waiter app and order there. Chuck Barrett stays with us after this.
I am not who you say I am.
I'm a pastor.
I am a caregiver.
I am a father.
I am a friend.
I'm a doctor.
Chances are someone you know and love is struggling with substance use disorder, but recovery is possible. Help starts when we stop stigma, view each other with compassion, and reach out for help. Call 1-800-622-HELP to get started. This message sponsored by the North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education and supported by grant number 2018-AR-BX-KO85 awarded by the Bureau of Justice Assistance.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
At Frank Rowe Furniture, spring is on the way, and Frank Rowe Furniture is ready. We have new arrivals on Made in the USA furniture at unbelievable prices. We have 2-piece sectionals starting at $13.49, recliners as low as $3.99, sofa and love starting at $13.99. Frank Rowe Furniture offers in-store no-credit check financing with the manager approval or a SEMA financing or SNAP financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
At Crane Used Cars on 71 South, it's a new year, and Joe Pulliam, dealer-operator, has bigger and better deals for 2023. Like up to $2,023 more for your trade. That's right, up to $2,023 over Black Book, with a great selection of certified pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by the Crane Commitment. 100-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Joe knows customer service with a 5-star rated service before and after the sale. So come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter, 8200 Highway 71 South, Fort Smith.
The cold and flu seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all the over-the-counter cold and flu remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howell in Van Buren.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Save big when you shop at Metters Lumber True Value and get great deals during our home improvement sale. Pick up a 3-piece brush set by Master Painter for only $13.99. That's $5 off the original price. Upgrade your home's lighting with a 2-pack of GE's Direct Connect smart bulbs for only $23.99. Get $17 off Master Mechanic 20-volt cordless drill kit. Head over to Metters Lumber True Value and take advantage of these prices while supplies last.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Chuck Barrett staying with us here for this last segment on Halftime. You can get a question on our text line at 877-377-6963. Chuck, when's it's an 8 o'clock game. I'm going to need a cup of coffee in order to make it to the end of it, I think. When is your first or last cup of coffee for this one? You're a coffee drinker. I'm assuming you might need some to get yourself, not fired up for the game, but, the energy that you'll need to call this one, which is going to go down to the last minute. You know that.
Well, I'm a coffee drinker anyway. I don't care what time we play. I generally have coffee. I take a little coffee canister with me, as a matter of fact, or a little, kind of little metal carafe thing. So I'll have coffee before, during, and maybe even after the game.
Well, I hope the folks at Rupp Arena have something, have some for you. Wrap.
I have a system. I have a metal carafe. I have a metal carafe that holds about the equivalent of 2.5 cups of coffee. And so I will fill it up with coffee before I go to the arena. And so I'll have it at the ready. I'll have a little paper cup from the hotel room, and I'll have my coffee in my little carafe thing.
I like it. You got to have a plan when you're out there.
This is not my first rodeo, guys.
Yeah.
This is not my first rodeo.
I've had to make some adjustments for my baseball coffee drinking because, the clubhouse has moved away from where the booth is. And I used to be able to go down there and get a cup. They don't have coffee in the press box, so I'm going to have to bring in my own little single cup dispenser just for me, because Bubba wants me to drink like Red Bull and all other kinds of weird energy drinks that might make me say weird things on the air. So I'm going to have to bring one into the booth with me. Hey, baseball season's coming up too, Chuck. I mean, this is going to be really fun. I think it's going to be a fun baseball season. I'm not quite sure what the lineup looks like, but when Dave Van Horn says this is the deepest pitching staff I've ever had, that's going to make you stand up and take notice.
Yeah, I mean, it is. The thing that I think you hope is that, you can have a bell cow in that group, and maybe a bell cow B too. You look, and I realize what defines a quality start, as we've discussed, has changed. Sometimes you're only looking for 4 or 5 out of a guy, and sometimes that's good enough to win. But you look at the years and the teams that, win it all, they got a bell cow. They got 1 or 2 guys there that, you need to have somebody go 13-2. You need to have somebody on there that's a, 14-2. You got to have some big winners, I think. And I realize it's changed. I understand that. But that's what I hope, is that as we move through this thing, we may not see it right away. I don't know. I hope that you got a bell cow or 2 emerge out of that.
Chuck, one things I miss about, you miss a lot about playing, but one of the things that I always remember was, whether it's basketball or football, you have a meeting with the referees and the rules people every year about some just subtle changes. There's rule changes here, something that's going on. Every year something changes. And Phil brought up this yesterday. I wanted to get your thoughts on it, that there's a 10-run rule now where after the 7th inning, if a team's up by 7, they call the game. What are your thoughts on that, calling a game at 7 innings?
Well, I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest, because, a college game's not always over when one team's down by 10, even after 7. Now, most of the time they are, and I get where they're coming from, because what ends up happening is that, Phil, you know this. I mean, if you're way up or way down, generally when you're way down, you're not, say if it's Friday night, well, you're not going to throw guys you may pitch on Saturday and Sunday. And so what ends up happening, everybody takes 1 or 2 guys with them, maybe one pitcher that, if it all falls apart, this is the guy we're going to ask to eat up, 5 or 6 innings for us, and make sure we got everybody left for, whatever remains in the series. So I get both sides of the coin. I don't care for it as much as some. Now I will say this, Phil, you know this. I mean, when you're broadcasting a game and there's a 12-run difference in the 8th inning, all you're thinking about, let's get out of here.
Talking about the restaurants, yeah.
I can see all sides of the argument here.
Well, it's like you play, those non-conference teams that the game could get out of hand on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Like the first question asked to Kevin Trainer before the game starts, is there a 10-run rule for this game today? Oh, there is. Sweet. Good.
Oh, I can see it for those games, and I think there should be that kind of rule for those games, because you've got some real mismatches when you play some of these games. But I was surprised, frankly, that the SEC did this. And essentially the coaches did it, because the coaches run the league, in terms of things like this. I mean, the coaches are in charge. So evidently they wanted to do it, or it wouldn't have passed.
You're right about the coaches run the league. And one thing I really liked hearing from Dave yesterday in his post-Swatters Club media session was they asked him about extra innings with the ghost runner at second base. He says, well, I'm never going to agree to that. I'm like, yes, thank you very much, Dave. I can appreciate if you want to do that like in the 13th inning or something, but not the 10th inning. And I like that Dave comes from that perspective too.
Yeah, I don't know what the others are going to say on that. But I'm certain in Major League Baseball, if you'd done a poll of the managers, it would have never passed. And so, that's the contrast right there. In college baseball, the coaches run the show. And in the Major League Baseball, the commissioner's office, and they make those decisions. But let's just be honest. The commissioner of the SEC, generally speaking, not always, but particularly when it comes to baseball, they're just going to rubber stamp what the coaches would like to do. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying that's generally how it works.
Chuck, I always love joining you on your podcast, your Monday edition, and we talked a little bit the last week about the Super Bowl coming up, so I got to get your thoughts. The last time you'll be on the show with us this week before Sunday. Who you got and why?
That's a tough one, man. I want to go with Kansas City because of Mahomes, but, regardless of what he looks like early in the game, that's going to wear on him. And, I've heard you talk about this, Matt, that, there's going to be a play where all the stuff you've done all week long to get yourself ready to go just goes out the window.
Mm-hmm.
And, from that point on, you've just got to gut it out. Philadelphia's defense will get after you. I was mainly because I don't watch enough NFL, I guess. But, I kept thinking Philadelphia's going to stub their toe, and they just never did. And so for that reason, I'm going with Philadelphia.
Nice.
Which means load up on Kansas. Go to the Bet Saracen app and load up on Kansas City right now.
Hey, man, Phillies, they got some players, Chuck. I think it's a coin flip game. I think it could be one of those games we're talking about it for 3 days afterwards. I think it could be that good.
Chuck, I think the difference is Philadelphia's ability to get to the quarterback without blitzing. And, look, I know it's like 2 weeks for Mahomes to rest that ankle, but they 70 sacks – with 4 guys over 10
That's
sacks,
wild.
And
That's
they don't
wild.
even blitz. Like, to me, if they can control that line of scrimmage, which they've done on both sides of the ball. That's why I'm going with Philadelphia too. I'm picking the same team you are. I think for the same reasons you are too.
I've never been, and I guess this is just me, and obviously I'm wrong, but I was never sold on Hurts as being a true NFL quarterback, and he's still not in the same mold of Mahomes or Allen or, guy at San Diego.
Yeah, Herbert. Yeah.
I mean, he's not in that mold, but, he's done a great job. He's just done a great job this year, and they've been a great team all season long.
I forget you get to watch him twice a year when they play your Cowboys, so you have got to see him.
Yeah.
And he's had to, and to your point, Chuck, he's had to really. He's not as accurate as that, like the pinpoint accuracy. No. He's had to work at it,
and he has. And this is a guy that you can tell. And when a player says about another player, you can tell he works at it. That's a compliment, and you can. And he's. I didn't think he would be as good as he's been as an NFL quarterback. And, I thought Tua was the one that would be the great pro. And as it turns out, maybe exactly the opposite. I know Tua's, he had trouble staying healthy. But, Hurts is, when you watch him carry himself, there is a quiet confidence there. And I'm sure sometimes it's a loud confidence too, but just the way he carries himself. There's a guy, he's certain of his steps, I'll put it that way.
Last thing to get to, and I want to ask a question that one of our texters sent in here, and it's about tonight's basketball game. And I think it's more about one of the narratives of the season, and it's not the officiating. There's the sense, I think, across the Arkansas fan base that the officials have it out for this team. Rapp in Fort Smith asked about this. He says it's easy to talk about officials. You lose 4 games, 1 possession. Other team shoots 20 free throws. You shot 10. And his basic question is, are the refs down on Muss and our players? I think there are some games where that looks like it's the case. There's others where it's not. And I wonder your thoughts on that.
I think there always are calls you're going to argue. There are always calls you're going to argue. And, there are times that you walk away and you feel like, man, we got hosed tonight. But to answer the question about do I think they've got it in for Muss or our players, no, I don't believe that. I don't see any evidence of that. I'm right there, and I listen to how Muss works them, but I see how other coaches work them too.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's the only one cussing them. He hadn't cornered the market on that. That stuff's going on both ends of the floor. They're getting worked hard on both ends. And I can tell you guys, every team that comes into Bud Walton Arena and gets beat feels like that they're playing Bud Walton Arena and the 3 referees and the students. They feel that way every time. In our heyday, I talked to them. They talk about how raw their guards' wrists were after they played the Razorbacks in Bud Walton Arena. They had bloody wrists after the game. Now some of that was exaggerated.
Yeah, that's
I'm
funny
sure.
though.
But my point is everybody feels that way. And no, I don't think Muss is being targeted, and no, I don't think Jordan Walsh is being targeted. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I think every game's beautifully officiated, because I don't. I'm not going to tell you that I think there aren't times when Arkansas gets hosed, because I think there are. but I don't think it's because they got it in for us.
Chuck, always enjoy these visits. Thanks so much. We'll be listening tonight. Have a great call.
All right, guys. Thanks. Enjoyed it.
Thanks, Chuck.
Chuck Barrett, voice of the Razorbacks, joining us every Tuesday here on Halftime. The Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast coming out Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And it'll be on the Morning Rush tomorrow. Hopefully talking about a big Arkansas win over those hated Kentucky Wildcats. Bruce in Nashville says the Razorbacks can't turn it over 10 or more times and win, and that they still need to be aggressive on defense. Brandon wanted to ask Chuck if it's hard to match Z's energy. I'll just answer for Chuck, Brandon. Yes. I don't know many people, if anyone, that's got Z's energy. You just can't try to match it. You just got to try to contain it. We'll wrap up hour number 2 of Halftime right after this.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric has been the most trusted heating and air company in Arkansas for more than 50 years. As the winter weather changes from hot to cold, trust the pros at Pascal to ensure your system is performing at its best. Right now, get a heating tune-up for only $99 per system. Want full protection and member discounts? It's only $1 more per visit. Call today or visit GoPascal.com to schedule online anytime. Professional people, professional service. GoPascal.com.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has 2 locations, 1316 South Zero and 200 South Zero Street in Fort Smith, serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma, commercial and residential. Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
It's a new year. Why not put a new-to-you vehicle in your driveway? Road Chevrolet wants to buy your vehicle today, and that means you can get out of your old ride and into a great car, truck, or SUV from Road Chevrolet. In fact, trucks starting at only $14,482. Yeah, trucks starting at $14,482. Find new roads. Road Chevrolet, just off I-540 exit 2A Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, I tell you, nothing says love in the air than meat, jewelry, and lingerie. And we're giving away a lot of that right now at hitthatline.com. If you enter now through Monday, once per day, you got a chance to win this incredible getaway to hot springs at the historic Arlington Resort Hotel and Spa. You'll also get a great dinner from the Arlington, drinks on the veranda, and here's the jewelry aspect of it, 14-karat white gold and ruby pendant chain from Swift's Jewelry in Fayetteville that's valued up to $560. The meat, that's a $150 gift card coming from Richard's Country Meat Market right there on College in Fayetteville. And the lingerie, $150 gift card to Cupid's Lingerie. Richard's Country Meat Market, love is at stake, so call Richard's. You can win the heart of your loved one with a home-cooked meal with Richard's Sweetheart Steak. Call Richard's Country Meat Market to reserve it at 479-443-0000. That's 479-443-0000. Or stop by 3042 North Market Avenue in Fayetteville. And Ruskin and Jack get the fun stuff to give that away on Monday, because Tuesday is the day of nothing but love in the air and every expectation being met. Right?
Just
Am
keep
I saying that the right way?
Just keep that cherub with that arrow away from me. But yeah, everybody have a good time.
That's right. Says the man who enjoys being single right now, for certain.
Just keep him away this year.
Very
We'll be all right.
said. Yeah, point that weather vane in the other direction, pretty please. Don't need to be hit between the eyes. Although it feels really good these days. I'll say that for sure. All right, we got time for calls in the next segment as we get into hour number 3. Curtis Wilkerson from 24/7 Sports will help us preview Arkansas, Kentucky in the second segment. So time for calls and texts coming up at 877-377-6963. Stay with us on Halftime.
You could win the ultimate Valentine's Day getaway. Head to hitthatline.com and register to win a getaway to the Arlington Hotel in historic downtown Hot Springs. The ultimate Valentine's Day getaway is brought to you by Swift's Jewelry in Fayetteville, Cupid's Lingerie of Northwest Arkansas, and Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. No purchase necessary. You can register once per day. Winner will be announced February 13th. Win the ultimate Valentine's Day getaway at the Arlington Hotel in historic downtown Hot Springs. Thanks to hitthatline.com and ESPN Arkansas.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any Coke fan, so make sure you... Jim. Jim. We're on the air.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me. Your thoughts, Jen?
Well, can I have a sip?
Jen, we're in the middle of reporting the news.
I need to try it first.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers has the best burger in town. And every Saturday, enjoy any burger at Art's and get $1 off. Try Art's Bacon Cheeseburger, topped with house-smoked bacon, or the Art Attack with bacon, ham, and a fried egg. And all of Art's burgers come with a mound of fresh-cut fries, or upgrade to Art's homemade onion rings. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue, next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we're looking at a chance of some scattered rain. Our high temperatures will be cooler, right around 50 north, low 60 south. Chance of seeing some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder or two tonight. Overnight low will be in the mid-40s north, low 50s south, and then showers with a few thunderstorms Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
When it comes to your auto repairs, call W&W Automotive at 242-1600.
Proceed. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
It's what I always listen to.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I put my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! On 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that back, your
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
And into our third hour of halftime here on a basketball Tuesday. We are 7 hours away from the tip-off. 7:30 airtime on ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com. Chuck and Zim taking you up until an 8:02 tip. And we got hog reaction later on. We're doing that for every SEC conference game. Got time for calls, texts in this next segment here at 877-377-6963. I appreciated Matt Charlie earlier in the show reminding us about LeBron James being 33 points away from eclipsing Kareem's regular season.
He gave me some content for Chuck. Exactly.
Record.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah.
Well, that's what
That's what he does.
Charlie,
he brings it.
You will not get paid for this. Not yet. We can't cut you a check until we get your tax forms in. But I was. You ask about like what are the things that stand out about LeBron?
Mm-hmm.
You know, he is about to become the leading scorer in regular season history in the NBA. You realize he's also fourth all-time in assists? You don't see anybody in the top 10 of scoring and assists in NBA history that is not LeBron James. That's amazing.
Phil, that's a great point. And when LeBron was coming out of high school and making his move to the next level, everybody's like the next Michael Jordan. And I was like, everybody needs to relax. He's more Magic than Michael. He's more facilitator. Early in his career, I mean, we're talking about Jalen Hurts working on his passing game. LeBron had to work on his shot. LeBron, that was his thing, especially out at his range. He didn't have it, but he could pass the ball. His vision was unbelievable. He's a true point forward where 1 through 4, man, he can play any position 1, 2, 3, or 4. And he's worked. He's built. He's tried to build a move to his game, and of course you got to be. He was born. You got to be born with some ability, but he worked at it, and he has improved his 3-point shot. But the things that he was naturally gifted was his passing ability. Is just he's first class A+ as any guard that you've ever seen play this game on passing the ball. That's just his natural and innate ability that he's always had.
Look, and it's not like Michael was just a gunner. I mean, he certainly did gun for a bit, but the guy averaged over 5 assists per game and had a season with 8 assists per game.
I'm still taking Michael overall number. If we're taking a player to start, I'm taking MJ. That's 100%. But LeBron's up there. Where we were doing a top 5 list. If I'm putting my team together with my top 5 basketball players to go to war, to go to battle, LeBron's on there.
I think he would be on there too. I think it would be on there too. The toughest thing would be picking the 6th man, right? The guy to come off the bench. I have no idea who I'd pick.
Kobe Bryant, yeah. Just put Kobe as the 6th guy. But
right.
I'd go Larry Bird at the 3. I'd go Tim Duncan at the 5. I'd go LeBron at the 4. I'd go Michael at the 2 and Magic at the 1, and we'd go to bat. Like, I love Akeem Olajuwon at the 5 if you want to start moving. I love Dirk at the 4. I like a Steve Nash or AI at the point. But just when you're going down the list, and then Michael and Kobe, that's your shooting guard. I don't know. If you want to go Steph Curry, would you throw that 3-point? Because it's kind of a new thing. Do you
That's
throw
the one that I would choose?
Yeah.
Because the 3-point. It's like, what era are you choosing this team for, right? But
Today's rules.
If it's in today's rules, you need the 3-point ace. The guy that can shoot from half court.
That's your fair enough.
But a lot of this also has to do, like this sort of conversation has to do with how old you are in a lot of cases.
He got lucky. The longevity, man, to play the game, and Chuck put it right, man, to play the game for 20 years at that level, oh my goodness.
But you know what, like the whole conversation about LeBron versus Michael, so much of that has to do with your age. What you watched, what your era of basketball is, because there's a lot of men who would say Bill Russell was still the greatest player of all time, or Wilt Chamberlain, and they'll have receipts to show reasons why.
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of athletic ability in this case. Look, today's athlete is better than the athlete of 20 years ago. That's just how things operate.
There's more attention to detail. We know more. There's 40 years ago, Phil, they had to get another job. It wasn't just your life. Now you're seeing guys like Russell Wilson bring their own trainer into the actual team. Which blows my mind that an individual person could bring somebody in. But yeah, the players now, and when I say pick a team, I'm saying you pick players for your top 5 team playing by today's rules, but they would get today's treatment. They would get today's practices. They would get today's nutrition. They would get all of today's stuff. So Bill Russell would be better. Bill Russell didn't have any offensive game. He was just a taller guy playing against shorter people. Which I get it, and I'm not taking anything away from that guy, but his game was not as defined as a Kevin Garnett or a Dirk Nowitzki or a Tim Duncan, a Akeem Olajuwon. I can go down the list of better players than him at his position.
Right, yeah. The thing that Russell did, aside from being such a great shot blocker, was how he directed the blocked shots to start a fast break. But these are I think so much of it has to do with the perspective that you come from, and at least to be able to take a player out of the era that he or she played in and translate that person's game into what today's athlete has around him or her. Like you're talking about, the nutrition, the travel, and all of that. It's so different.
Your psychologist, the mental health game, everything that goes in with it, yeah.
So I forget what ball player this was, a pitcher or something, that was talking about Babe Ruth. And he's like, I'd strike Babe Ruth out 10 out of 10 times. Because Babe Ruth didn't hit against the sort of speed that we hit against now. And he's right about that.
They were throwing 88, yeah.
Take Babe Ruth and allow him to live in today's age.
Say
everything
Babe Ruth
that goes into being a professional athlete. Babe Ruth would also not be hitting with a 50-inch bat. He'd hit pitching just fine.
I think so, too. If Babe Ruth was born in 1998, he'd still be a Major League ball player and still be amazing. Yeah, exactly.
We got some calls lined up. Let's get to this here. Wade and Branch, you're up first. Hi, Wade. Good to hear from you. What's up?
Hey, guys. How you doing? And
great.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to baseball season. It's a sign of spring coming along, and I'm looking forward to Arkansas and then later on the MLB. But Bill, you took the words right out of my mouth, because I was going to call you about LeBron James, about his career that he had. And it's so amazing that he was such an unselfish player, as well as being on the brink of breaking the all-time scoring list, because he's 4th in the NBA. But now nobody's going to catch John Stockton, I don't think, in assists. I don't think that's going to happen.
No, he's like 4,500 away.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I'll tell you what, I got so many great memories in sports. And you were talking about Bill Russell. Bill Russell was he was the greatest in his time, I remember watching Bill Russell play, and then I remember the Lakers of the '80s. Magic Johnson, all that.
Yeah.
But you got to be LeBron. And Matt, I think if I heard you right, I'm going to have to a little bit disagree with you about the best player. I think LeBron is on there. And now Michael Jordan, he had a great supporting cast. He had a great supporting cast in his time. And off and on, LeBron didn't.
That Cavaliers team he took with Larry Hughes and Eric Snow to oh my goodness, man. Yeah, he didn't have some play. Yeah, he scored 27 straight points.
The only one he had was for about 3 years was Kyrie Irving.
Well, Dwayne Wade. Kyrie's not as good as Dwayne Wade. He had Dwayne Wade.
His time with Miami stands apart from the rest.
He had some guys there. Chris Paul, he had some guys there. But you're right. With Cleveland, Kyrie was his only guy, yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, it's just I'm tickled for LeBron. I hope he does it tonight.
I think he does it tonight. Yeah, I think he does it tonight.
Yeah, against Oklahoma. If not, he definitely will against Milwaukee. But anyway, looking forward to baseball, guys, and looking forward to listening to you, Phil, on the radio.
Well, I can't wait to get on and start doing those games, and it reminds me it's time to make the giant scorebook of love, because I got to get one to Bubba before next weekend, because I make his scorebook for him, and without that, he can't do the broadcast. So, and I make sure I do my thing for my guy. Hogballer's up next. By the way, Brian in Fayetteville reminded me I'm a liar for 33 points. It's 36 points away.
Yeah, 36. There you go.
Thank you, Brian. Hogballer, I think I just dropped Hogballer. I hit the wrong button. Give us another call, Hogballer. I hit the red button instead of the white button. 877-377-6963. Apologies for that. Finger slip at the wrong time. This conversation ends up, I think a lot of it has to do with the perspective that you come from, when you grew up, who you were watching. It's like, for me, a little tiny piece of me holds on to the idea that Joe Montana is the greatest quarterback in NFL history. And all it was is he was the best quarterback of the 80s. We can separate these into decades.
Terry Bradshaw would be the 70s. Yeah. I remember Roger Stark, whatever you go, and then Montana would be the 90s or the 80s.
I held on to Montana as the best quarterback that I ever in the history of the NFL, really because he was just the best quarterback that I ever got a chance to see with my eyes on television, and then he never lost a Super Bowl. Like, that's also an aspect of it too.
With Michael Jordan,
that's one of the things with Michael that everybody points to: 6-0 in the finals. 6-0 in the finals. That's amazing. That's supposed to mean something, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Well, you're not going to see that again, Phil, and you're not going to see a guy like LeBron come in and be top 5 in scoring and assists when he finishes his career. I mean, and I don't know what he's going to finish at, but he's probably getting 500 assists a year if you're thinking. So, I mean, if he plays for another 3-4 years, and later in his career, you got to put some shooters around him, he's going to get more assists.
Hogballer, I apologize for hitting the red button instead of the white button.
You're good.
It's an unfortunate thing. I'm able to talk into a microphone easily, but push the wrong button more times than not. Apologies. Thanks for calling back, though.
Hey, Matt, you said something a minute ago about Russell Wilson having his own coaches. Did you hear the comment that Peyton made?
What did he say? I did not hear it.
Hold on, I'll play it.
He said not in this facility anymore.
I'm with you, brother. Hey, that's just weird.
That is awesome. He's putting his foot down.
I love it.
Hogballer, hold on one moment. This is what he said.
Russell Wilson had a personal coach, Jake Heaps, in the building with access who wasn't on the staff.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that.
How do you feel about players having their own people off the staff in the building, access to the players?
Yeah, that's foreign to me. That's not going to take place here. I mean, I'm unfamiliar with it, but our staff will be here, our players will be here, and that'll be it.
I love it. I mean, it really, you hear it, it's like, I'm not familiar with that. Never heard of that before. Basically, that's a nice way of saying, hell no, he's not doing that.
Hey, one other thing. I know this is probably going to be a debate for years and years and years. Michael Jordan and LeBron. Do you think he'll ever surpass Michael?
In terms of what? In terms of how we perceive their careers?
The greatest player. Because I grew up watching Michael, and me personally, I don't think anybody's going to ever take that out of my mind, that they surpassed what Michael did. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. It was almost like when he hit the scene, he was like a ballerina out there on the court.
And his aura, his confidence, the way he carried himself, and he still does.
And not only that, the other caller said he had less quality players. LeBron did. Jordan, when he first came in, had no one. I mean, I remember him saying that he went into a hotel room one night and everybody on the team was in there doing drugs. And he walked out and was like, I don't want no part of that.
Yeah, those 80 Chicago teams.
Always drilling better. I want our team to be better. I mean, he constantly pushed everybody to the point to where it pissed them off. And that's one thing I always loved about Jordan.
Hogballer, I think part of this, and that you ask a question, when will he surpass Michael Jordan? It's all up to everybody to make up their own mind in this case, because it's a matter of perspective. It's a matter of how you view, what's important in a career. And I don't think there's just one way to look at it, nor will there ever be just a clear answer. Do you think it's
possibly the championships?
If you look at basketball players, LeBron can do more things than Michael Jordan on the basketball floor. But I'm still taking Michael. That's like Tom Brady. Brett Favre can do more things than Tom Brady can do on the football field.
This is also is like 13 or 15-year-old me watching Michael Jordan in the finals. He
never missed a shot.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I wasn't a fan of the Bulls. I wasn't a fan of Jordan, but I was amazed by what he did.
Here's kind of the way to answer your. I mean, how you look at this situation. If you was an owner and you had one pick to make to start your franchise off with, who are you taking, LeBron or Jordan?
Michael Jordan.
It would be me too. 7 days a week, twice on Sunday.
Mike would be my number one. I
can't wait to hear you on the ball games, Phil.
Well, me too.
Can't wait for baseball.
Hogballer, thanks for your phone call, and thanks for calling twice. Hit the red button at the right time this time. Well done. All right, we'll break because Curtis Wilkerson is coming up to talk some Arkansas-Kentucky basketball in just a moment. I mean, you have these conversations.
We got a basketball game tonight? Whoa.
Yeah, how about that?
Whoa.
I had forgotten about that for a moment. It's probably the most NBA talk we've done here for a long time.
That was fun. That was cool, man. I mean, that's something that's like seeing a meteor in the sky. LeBron breaking the scoring record. It might not happen again in our lifetime, Phil.
Here's one aspect, though. Like, I don't remember. There's grudging respect about LeBron from a lot of people for this reason or that reason, whether it's because of, things he speaks out about or, LaFlop and all that kind of stuff. I don't remember that kind of stuff about Michael at all.
Gambling was his thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. The whole going to baseball for a couple of years and why that happened.
Yeah.
But nobody ever questioned the way he played, and he didn't speak out.
He didn't disappear. Much. Exactly.
Curtis is coming up next.
There's no place in the SEC that does it like this. Where the home court advantage is so huge when the fans show up.
Number one environment in college basketball, no argument, Bud Walton.
I ain't never heard anyone get that loud. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. You could win the ultimate Valentine's Day getaway. Head to hitthatline.com and register to win a getaway to the Arlington Hotel in historic downtown Hot Springs. The ultimate Valentine's Day getaway is brought to you by Swift's Jewelry in Fayetteville, Cupid's Lingerie of Northwest Arkansas, and Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. No purchase necessary. You can register once per day. Winner will be announced February 13th. Win the ultimate Valentine's Day getaway at the Arlington Hotel in historic downtown Hot Springs. Thanks to hitthatline.com and ESPN Arkansas.
Wheeler Power Sports has their showroom packed
to help you jumpstart your spring adventures. Off-road accessories such as sound bars, light bars, roofs, windshield, wheel, tire kits, and more. Looking for a new off-road or street vehicle? They're loaded with Polaris, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Kimco, and KO units. Give them a call at 479-783-5822. Online at WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Powersports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
At Frank Rowe Furniture, spring is on the way, and Frank Rowe Furniture is ready. We have new arrivals on made-in-the-USA furniture at unbelievable prices. We have two-piece sectionals starting at $13.49, recliners as low as $3.99, sofa and love starting at $13.99. Frank Rowe Furniture offers in-store no-credit check financing with a manager approval or a SEMA financing or SNAP financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
Searching for a promising career change? Looking for an established company that pays competitively and values its team members? Then come be a part of the Beckert family. Beckert in Van Buren has immediate openings for production operators paying up to $29 an hour. Sundays are paid at time and a half, and night shift work has an added premium of $1 per hour. Applications are available 24/7 at Beckert, located off I-40 at Exit 3. Apply today.
Where can you get RV show pricing without the RV show crowd? Breen RV in Van Buren. This month only, we are paying your sales tax on all 22 trailers in stock. Save thousands from Forest River, Coachman, Keystone, and Thor. Don't worry about payments for 90 days. Get free maintenance for life and all of your state sales tax paid at Breen RV. Check out the new Sunray that weighs less than 2,000 pounds. Don't wait until spring. Come by Breen RV today and let us show you how easy it is to buy a new or used RV.
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Slash to be in your band.
Next up for lead guitar. You're in.
Cool. Yep, even easier than that. And with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One and a member FDIC.
Up to $12,000 off on premium pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. The biggest savings are right on the front row. The manager specials, huge variety, great selection, and even bigger savings with up to $12,000 off. Most of these vehicles still have factory warranty remaining, so you can buy with confidence. And nobody will pay more for your trade than Harry Robinson. Up to $12,000 off on pre-owned vehicles. Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisal.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Curtis Wilkerson is with us here for this segment, getting into Arkansas, Kentucky basketball. Curtis covers the Hogs at 24/7 Sports, hogsports.com. You probably get a look at that quite a bit. Curtis, how you doing today? It's going to be a late night. I know that's an exciting thing, though.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely looking forward to this one. I'm doing good. I strategically slept in an extra hour this morning, so I'm locked and loaded and ready to roll. It should be a fun night.
What time is Curtis Wilkerson's bedtime normally?
You know, I'm kind of a night owl. So if I get to bed before midnight, that's usually a pretty good start for me. But I went to bed early last night. I took my wife out to dinner, and I think I came back home and was asleep by like 9:30, which is really rare. I woke up this morning and felt like I missed a bunch of things, but it turns out I didn't. So that's good news. That's
Phil Elson, Matt Jones go to sleep territory.
I like it.
I know what you were doing though. You were getting ready for the game tonight. That's what it's. You got to get a good night's sleep. You got to eat right. You got to take care of personal things the night before the game, not worry about it the day of game. You're attacking this game like you're one of the players, it sounds like, Curtis.
I mean, total focus, right? I think the Razorbacks are going to be locked in for this one. This is a huge game. They need it. Both teams are in a position where they need to stack up some quality wins. And, so who am I to not be just as prepared? I got to bring my A game as well.
I want to ask you, Curtis. We all know about is it Sheway? If I'm saying his name right. Other than that, though, on this Kentucky team, who is the guy that scares you? Because I know they got a lot of talent. Who's the guy you put Devo on? Who's the guy we got to stop other than Sheway?
Yeah, there are two guys that really come to my mind outside of Big Oscar. In terms of who Devo would guard, I think I would probably turn to the freshman, Cason Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really talented guard. He's kind of a combo. He'll play off the ball when Severe Wheeler's in there, but he'll run the point when he's not. He's a guy that can create, can score at all three levels, and I think he's shooting 40% from three. He's a guy that can kind of go get buckets for him. So, when I look at the matchup for Devo, that would probably be the guy that I would start on. But another matchup that kind of has my attention is Jacob Toppin. This is a guy, he kind of plays that hybrid, stretch forward kind of role. And, he's got guard skills, not necessarily a guy who spaces the floor and shoots a ton of threes, but if you kind of look at the makeup of this Arkansas roster right now, I just wonder how that matchup is going to work, because I think Jordan Walsh is a perfect fit for him. Obviously, we've seen him get in some foul trouble on the road at times, but when you go to your bench, is Arkansas going to be able to play big? Are they going to be able to throw, a Mekhi Mitchell or a Jalen Graham in there to play the four and guard a guy who has the perimeter skills that Jacob Toppin does? I think it's going to be really important for them to be able to do that, because I think you might be able to exploit it on the other end of the floor by posting that guy up. So that would be another matchup that has my eye for sure.
One area where Arkansas has had advantages against opponents is the length of their guards. It's one of the reasons they defend the three so well. But, one of the changes that Cal has made in the lineup is to bring Severe Wheeler off the bench. He's a little guy at 5'8". That's why, you get a guy like Reeves who's 6'5", Wallace 6'4" around the perimeter. It's not going to be as easy. Well, easy isn't the right word. It's going to be tougher to defend these guards because they're about the same size, at least close enough to where that usual size advantage you have around the perimeter isn't quite as advantageous for you today.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's been interesting to see how, Cal has kind of tweaked the lineup and its combinations there. I think the best group that they have is a backcourt that has Wallace and Frederick and Reeves. I think you've got three guys who are capable shooters there, so it gives them the spacing they need. For a guy like Oscar to just hang out in the paint and, gobble up offensive rebounds and have room to operate in there. When they go to Severe Wheeler, listen, he's really talented. I mean, this is a guy who's essentially led the SEC in assists for what feels like 10 years now, going back to his time at Georgia. But he's not as much of a shooting threat. He is a little guy, but man, when he gets into the teeth of the defense and kind of starts spraying that thing around or dropping it off the Sheway, he can be really effective there. But yeah, I agree with you. It's a little bit different look. Kentucky, traditionally, they're going to be a long and athletic team, so they do match Arkansas from that standpoint. It's going to be interesting. I think, Sheway is a guy who is probably to a degree going to get his, so can you limit the other guys in a game like this? Kentucky shoots one of the better three-point percentages in the SEC. They're not a super high-volume team, but they got some guys who are capable, so you definitely got to limit them from the perimeter.
How big was it for this young team? I say young because we got a few freshmen that have to make plays for us to get that road win, to get a road conference win their last game before we go in to tonight's game. Do you think they'll have all their confidence there tonight?
I think so, man. I think it was huge. It's maybe it didn't go exactly the way they planned. I mean, what were they, like a 12-point favorite or something like that?
2 touchdowns, yeah.
You had a situation where you had another big second-half lead. It kind of evaporates. It's like that recurring nightmare. We were seeing it play out before our eyes. This Arkansas team has been so close on the road in a number of games. They've come up short. But I think just closing one, just finishing, whether it's pretty or not, just to get over that hump and kind of prove to yourselves that you're capable of doing that. I think it speaks volumes, about this team and the progress that they've made. And so, yeah, I do think that helps. I think you can carry some confidence over into an environment like you're going to see at Rupp because, You played in a sold-out building at Missouri, and you lost by one possession. You played in front of a wild crowd at a place like Baylor, and you lost by one possession. So Arkansas has proven they can go on the road and compete against really good teams in hostile environments. And now you've gone on the road and finished a game. So I think you combine the two there, you got to feel pretty good about your chances of going in and having a strong performance and maybe being able to get the job done tonight.
Yeah, I was going to ask about put this game into its proper context, because this is not you lose this game, it doesn't take you out of the tournament, right? I mean, you've got plenty of opportunities at home to really make a case. But there are some games out there that, it's like Arkansas, Kentucky. Why do you need any other reason to feel like it's important? This is a great SEC basketball rivalry, and we always circle the date whenever the schedule comes out, and it's Arkansas versus Kentucky. In the context of what this season means, though, you got to hold serve at home. Does Arkansas necessarily have to win a road game in order to secure a spot in the tournament, in your opinion?
Yeah, I'm really glad you asked that question, because I've been getting that question a lot. And, so what I've done the last couple of days is I've reached out to a bunch of these, quote, bracketologists who, kind of do this stuff for a living. They understand the science behind it. And I've asked that very question. And, the consensus that I've received is, could Arkansas just win their final 4 home games, maybe lose those 4 games on the road and still make the NCAA tournament? The answer is yeah, they could. But, man, you're not going to be comfortable about it, because, you're going to kind of be in that situation where you have to worry about, conference tournament bid stealers, from other leagues, and you got to pay closer attention to what, other teams on the bubble are doing. So it kind of takes away a little bit of your control of your own destiny. So is it possible? Yeah, it absolutely is. But, man, they sure would do wonders for themselves by picking off, one or maybe more of these games on the road. Because at the end of the day, if you get to the end of the season and you look at this team's resume, if they hold serve at home, and they aren't able to handle business on the road, when you look at a team that's 1-8 in road games, and then at that point they would be, I guess, 1-8 or 1-9 in quad one games, unless something changes down the road. That's scary in terms of how comfortable you might feel going into Selection Sunday. You might be in a situation where you have to go do some damage in the SEC tournament. So can they do it? Yeah, absolutely. But, man, they could really take some pressure off themselves by getting one on the road here.
Curtis, remind me about what defines a quad one game, because it all has to do with the net ranking and whether you're playing that team on the road or whether it's neutral site or whether it's home. And every once in a while I forget like the numerals that go into this, because I looked at the schedule here and I've looked at the net rankings too, and I thought that there are maybe 6 or 7 quad one games in there, even your home games. Am I wrong about that? And what is the definition of quad one?
Yeah, so quad one, in the context of Arkansas right now, if you're at home, it's teams that are ranked in the top 30 of the net. If it's a neutral site, it's top 50. And if it's a road, it's top 75. So those road games right now, all 4 of them fall under that quad one category for Arkansas. And if you look at the home games, I think Kentucky, that regular season finale there on March the 4th is one that could creep into quad one status. Again, it has to be top 30. And I want to say that Kentucky's either 31 or 32 right now in the net. So they have the potential to bump into that territory and give Arkansas a 5th opportunity here down the stretch of the season.
Or a player you think, all right, so like Devo, all of a sudden in the last month or so has turned into a pretty darn good three-point shooter, to the point where Muss has said, look, this makes a difference for our team now. I mean, we're a team that has a guy that you can count on to hit threes. And that it didn't come out of nowhere. It just seems like it did. He's been working on it for 3 years now, but now the shot has arrived. Is there something from a player that's getting minutes that you need a certain something extra from that you haven't been getting? Because if I'm going to pick one, it's rebounding from Jalen Graham. And I think that might be one thing that Muss would point out as well. I wonder your thoughts.
Well, yeah, first of all, that's a great point, there on Jalen Graham. It was interesting. He had the big offensive performance there against South Carolina, and we asked about that. And I kind of knew going into that question what the response was going to be, which is, hey, everyone knows how gifted he is offensively, the pop he can provide as a scoring threat. But, man, you got to stop turning the ball over, and you got to rebound at a higher rate. And he's right, especially if you're going to be playing that center position at times. You can't play 20-plus minutes and only grab one rebound. And so, I know he's dealing with a little bit of a sore Achilles or whatever it is he has going on right now. So maybe that impacts some of his explosion and, ability to go get those things. But that number's still got to be higher, and he's proven that he can do it against good competition. I mean, he grabbed 9 rebounds at Baylor, so you would think you would be able to get that number up. So, I would agree with that. And if I was to think about somebody else, maybe just some more consistency out of a guy like Ricky Council. I look at this Arkansas team; they get into these situations, especially on the road. But we've seen it at home too, where they have these long scoring droughts, especially in the second half of games. Man, that's tough. You went almost 7 minutes without scoring a single point at South Carolina, and it nearly cost you. When you're playing better teams like Kentucky and some of these games coming up, especially on the road, you can't get away with that. So who's the guy who can put the ball in his hands? He has the ability to create, can score at multiple levels, elevate over a defense, and finish. And Council's the one who's really proven to be that guy. But it's just been a little bit up and down again. I know he's dealing with some back stiffness and things of that nature, but I think he's the guy, when you get in those droughts, and you can get him the ball, and he can go get you a bucket, and Arkansas desperately needs that.
Curtis, I would say enjoy the game, but, you can because you enjoy your work. So enjoy the game, enjoy your work, staying up late and all that. And we always enjoy visiting, talking about this basketball team, so we'll plan another one sometime soon. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Sounds good. I appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, Curtis.
Curtis Wilkerson from hogsports.com on the 24/7 Sports Network. I always like visiting with him.
He resting up. I like it. He said he's getting ready, getting to sleep early. We got game day. It's the Super Bowl. We're going to Lexington.
You also noticed, Matt, he said he took his wife out the night before.
Smart man.
Yeah, because he ain't going to be paying much attention to her tonight. Although I would imagine when you're married to a sports writer, you might watch the games with him when it's on television.
Fair
Although not every marriage works that way. I know that for a fact. All right, we're going to come back. We got an open segment, 877-377-6963. I want to get more into this Russell Wilson personal quarterback coach.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Ridiculous.
We'll get into that next.
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe, which means Bet Saracen has everything you're looking for and more right there on your cell phone.
Now everyone can get in the game and follow your favorite team.
And that's right on the money. If putting down a little wager makes your favorite game a little more exciting, we'll go to the app stores and download Bet Saracen. We even got a demo video to show you how to play.
Or find it at betsaracen.com.
The football playoffs are here, and nothing beats seeing your favorite team live. Not only does Vivid Seats have great NFL ticket prices, they're also the official ticketing partner of ESPN. And with Vivid Seats rewards, when you buy...
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
This video is powered by the pros at
452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Russell Wilson had a personal coach, Jake Heaps, in the building with access who wasn't on the staff.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that.
How do you feel about players having their own people off the staff in the building, access to the players?
Yeah, that's foreign to me. That's not going to take place here. I mean, I'm unfamiliar with it, but our staff will be here, our players will be here, and that'll be it.
I just had to play Sean Payton's answer to that question one more time. Not familiar with it, foreign to me, sounds ridiculous is kind of what Payton is getting at here. And Russell Wilson, I mean, he had his own quarterback coach last year. Didn't really seem to help him very much.
I didn't hear it. See, that's funny that they kept that under wraps. It's just not a good look, you know. I get getting help, or if you need help or you want coaching, but once you're together with the team, man, that's And I thought Russell. I heard the reports where his receivers or somebody was trying to get a hold of him, and they were like, "Well, you got to call my publicist first." And it's like, "Whoa,
God,
bro, we're teammates, man. Like, don't. That's just that's just a bad vibe, a bad look all around."
It really is, yeah. And I like how you put it. You know, when the team's all together, like we're all supposed to be under.
We're
the
unified.
Same staff.
Yes.
Like you take care. Like, all right, and this works in college too. This works in college as well. When I say you are the administrators or the executives of the team. You take care of the coaching staff and the support staff and all of that. We, the players, we will do the playing. They will do the coaching and the advising when you're all together. Now, the team isn't always together. There is an off season for every sport. When that's occurring, I think it's perfectly okay to have your own set of coaches.
Absolutely, yeah. Get in a somewhere where you feel comfortable. Like summer workouts, you want to go somewhere else and work out, whatever. But once the team gets here and once we're together, we're a team. And if you want to call them after the practice and say, "Hey, man, this is what's going on," I get it, but it's just a bad look. You know, nobody else is doing it. I mean, we're brothers. We're teammates, man. Let's be together on this.
Well, partially what it also shows is a lack of trust from the player that the people he works for know what they're talking about, or that he feels he can't trust them to listen.
That's another good point. Yeah, the OC or your quarterback coach is telling you something, and somebody else is saying you should do it this way, and they're probably just always a yes person for him. That's another thing. You get somebody on your side that's just kind of saying, yeah, Russell, you're still the prettiest. Yeah, Russell, you're still the best. And it's like, no, man, somebody needs to tell him what's up. He wasn't that good. He had a bad year. His quarterback coach should have been fired. Whoever he thought was his guy, he was feeding him lies because he was one of the worst years he's had.
Yeah, he should fire him himself. And look, professional athletes of this day, and I think even college athletes of this day in some cases, they have their own quote unquote people, whether it's publicists, agents,
Phil,
strength and conditioning coaches, nutritionists. All that kind of stuff. Personal stretchers. You know what I mean?
You do. And when I played football and basketball up there at Arkansas, so after football practice, I would go get up shots. And I had my own guy that would help me shoot, that would rebound and do that for me. But you know what? Once I went over to basketball and was with the team, he didn't come on with me too and do that. But he was the guy helping me out while I was getting ready to go. You don't get to bring him on once you get to the team. But in my extra time, I had a shooting guy to work with me. Yeah.
What do you think Nolan Richardson's what would his reaction be to a player that says, I'm bringing my own trainer, bringing my own shot coach, all that kind of stuff? I don't think he would have gone for that.
Man,
but today's day and age is a lot different than back then. A lot different than back then.
No, Nolan ran the show. You knew who boss was when you walked in the room. There was no doubt about it.
We had some people text in earlier in the show asking if Nick Smith is with the team in Kentucky today or if we think he's going to play again. I have no idea on either case, but I also do believe that he's got his own people that he's listening to. And I don't even
where
just
else
mean
did he
people
go when
in
he went
Los
out to
Angeles.
Yeah, where else did he go out to California? Nick Smith, I'll tell you this, and I like you said, Phil, I haven't talked to Coach Musselman. I don't know, but I promise you one thing, Nick Smith will be going through a full practice before he's playing. So if you ain't heard anything about Nick Smith practicing, Musselman is not playing the kid, so y'all can get over it. Yeah.
Well, that's the next question, right? It's like, is Nick Smith going to play? Is he with the team? The real question is, has he been through a full practice?
Exactly.
And I think the answer is no. Muss already said that a week or so ago. The answer is no. And I wonder, so he's there on the bench during games.
Home games. He doesn't make the road games. He's got his own guy. You didn't see him at the Baylor bench. Maybe he was. I didn't see him at the Baylor game. I saw him at the home game, though.
But if you're there on the bench during games, what would you be doing during practice if you're not healthy? There is the idea of rehabbing, but you can rehab, there's 24 hours in a day. Maybe you sleep 8. Maybe you go to class. Never mind. Maybe you do a little bit of practice.
How do you rehab
maybe
management?
You do some rehabbing.
Yeah,
but not during practice necessarily. It's just a really.
He's fine. He's making his money doing his thing. He's not going to play for the Hogs. It's okay. It's just like, why now? It's like 8 games left. She already said no. She's already left you for somebody else. You got to get over it.
I'll tell you what, and there's a lot of stuff on social media about Nick Smith said, "Why would I even enroll in classes?
Why don't you enroll in a practice? Why don't you go through a practice before we worried about it?" Yeah.
Look, I think there's an easy answer. If he doesn't play, to why you were enrolled back at school, and all of this. Look, give it another couple of weeks, you'll know whether or not he's ever going to play for. Because if he hadn't played in the next 2 weeks. You're not all of a sudden just going to be trying to integrate somebody, no matter how good he is, if he hasn't played in 2 months. I wonder, and I doubt you do, make the NIL money if you're not enrolled in school.
He's figured it out. And I think you brought this up, Phil, at the beginning of the year. If the rules were changed and he didn't have to go to school, he would have went straight to the NBA. He would have never. The only reason he came to a college was because the rules said he had to. And he's going to be a top 10 pick whether he plays another second for the Arkansas Razorbacks. As long as he's healthy, he will be a top 10 pick. No question about it.
He just might have been born 1 year too early to make that jump from high school to the NBA. We'll wrap halftime up after this.
Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric has been the most trusted heating and air company in Arkansas for more than 50 years. As the winter weather changes from hot to cold, trust the pros at Paschal to ensure your system is performing at its best. Right now, get a heating tune-up for only $99 per system. Want full protection and member discounts? It's only $1 more per visit. Call today or visit GoPaschal.com to schedule online anytime. Professional people, professional service. GoPaschal.com.
At Crane Used Cars on 71 South, it's a new year, and Joe Pulliam, dealer-operator, has bigger and better deals for 2023. Like up to $2,023 more for your trade. That's right, up to $2,023 over Black Book. With a great selection of certified pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by the Crane Commitment. 100-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Joe knows customer service with a 5-star rated service before and after the sale. So come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter, 8200 Highway 71 South, Fort Smith.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown Bar District.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up. Home. Drop off downtown Bar District.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Huh. Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com to set your consultation. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
The Arkansas Razorback football team is coming off back-to-back winning seasons and a Liberty Bowl victory. As Coach Sam Pittman and the team look ahead towards the 2023 season, it's time for Razorback fans to do so as well. The deadline to renew your Razorback football season tickets and Razorback Foundation pledge is Wednesday, March 1st. You don't want to miss a second of the action in Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium next season in 2023, so head on over to ArkansasRazorbacks.com and renew today.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Late breaking news. Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
If you happen to miss any of our award-winning 3-hour program today, don't worry. We have the Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast ready to go very soon. It'll be out on anywhere you can get your podcasts. And Ruskin and Zach right now are strapping on the equipment, getting themselves stretched and ready to go from 2 until 7 o'clock. I don't know what we got going from 7 till 7:30, but I know at 7:30, it's Arkansas pregame from Rupp Arena. Chuck and Zim will take you up until 8:02 for the ESPN tip-off. And it is Carl Ravitch, Jimmy Dykes, and Marty Smith on the call.
It's a Marty party.
Well, at least we don't have to hear any more about Boss Hogg knocking over his coffee. And
Is Ashley Judd going to be there? Remember, she used to make some appearances for the.
Who was it?
Ashley Judd. She was.
I'm sure she'll be. I'm assuming. I don't know if she misses any games, so that means you'll get about 15 different shots of her.
Yeah. How cool! I can't remember if she was there when I played but the one I was so worried about other things that I wasn't focused on the patrons in the crowd.
Well, you'd be focused on the patrons of the crowd today. What is the last Ashley Judd movie that anybody has watched? I don't know what she's done in a long time. It's nothing against her. I mean, she's a fantastic actress, but I have not seen an Ashley Judd movie for a long time.
I get her confused with Winona Ryder sometimes. Like, I'll see a movie she's in.
You're thinking Winona Judd, though, maybe. Are you maybe crossing on the names up here?
The short hair brunettes, they get going, and you kind of, I mean, we all know her from Basic Instinct. What's the movie where Val Kilmer's just out there shooting up the place? And it's with Al Capino. The Heat. I'm sorry, Heat. That's the movie I know her from. Heat. Sorry, Basic Instinct is Sharon Stone.
Well, Wes and Harrison texted in the movie that always is at the top of the list for Ashley Judd. It's Double Jeopardy. But after that one,
never seen it. Heat.
I was at the last one she's done. Like, once you're Hollywood royalty, you're still Hollywood royalty no matter what. I just don't know the last time that Ashley's made a movie that I've actually seen. Hey, I wonder, what do you think about this movie with the 4 legendary actresses? What is it called? 80 for Brady? Is that the movie where they all got together and went to see Tom Brady play in the Super Bowl?
I haven't boycotted a lot of movies, but I don't think I'm ever going to see that one.
80 for Brady.
Yeah.
Jane Fonda, Sally Field, Rita Moreno, and Lily Tomlin. And Tom Brady is in the movie, too. It's out right now. Yeah, that might be one I would skip. But
so I look at her lineup, Phil, and Double Jeopardy's number 1. What she's known for. Bug, she plays Ange White. I have never seen, but Heat was 3rd on the list. So Double Jeopardy, Bug, and Heat, which I really only know her from Heat.
Well, she ought to get paid for being on the ESPN telecast about 20 times. I guess she had a movie that came out last year called She Said. So
that's it. Yeah, that came out last year. Yeah, but I don't know that she's known for it. Yeah, I think that slipped on by.
She's still working.
Carrie Mulligan's in it, though. Oh my goodness, I love some Carrie Mulligan. I mean, get out of here, man. She's married to Mumford & Son.
Well, I love me some Matt Jones. So let's do this all over again tomorrow. Woo! What do you say, Christian? Appreciate you as always. And tomorrow's a good old-fashioned regular Wednesday. So we'll be back with you tomorrow. Stay up late tonight. Have a great time and go Hogs. For Matt Jones, for Christian Johnston, and everybody else at ESPN Arkansas, I'm Phil Elson. Have a great rest of your day. Now get up, get out, and get better.
At Southern Tire.